Hello and welcome to the Writing Momentum Podcast. I'm Christopher Maselli. I'm here with my wife Gina and our good friend Rene Gutteridge. How are you doing, Gina and Rene?
Hey, we're doing good. I'm doing good. I won't
Well, don't
speak
speak
for
for
Rene.
me, Gina. But yes, you've guessed right. I'm doing good.
Hey, we have something exciting that we're going to talk about today. That's because just recently the WriterCon Writers Conference website has been updated with the speakers and the sessions and a lot of information. And we thought we'd take a first look because this conference is happening on September 1st through 4th in Oklahoma City. And it is one of our favorite writers conferences. We actually co-work on it along with Red Sneakers. And it's just a really good, strong conference. And we
is.
thought that we would just look at a bit of all of it. And
Yeah.
are y'all excited about it?
We are. And I just want to point out that September 1st through the 4th is over Labor Day weekend. So it's a long week. Hopefully that's a benefit to people that they've got the time off from work and they've got time to come and just soak in all the writerness. Is that a word?
That's not a word.
That's not a word.
And it's in Oklahoma City, which
Uh-huh.
is right in your neck of the woods, right, Renee?
Oh, very much in the middle of where I live. It's a great town, easy to navigate, very easy airport if you're flying in, and really pretty low traffic. So there's really nothing to complain about except the weather. So in advance, we are apologizing for whatever is going to happen that weekend. You just don't know. Probably 100-degree weather, but the people are friendly enough that it makes up for that.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, we will be flying in. And that's one thing we like about this conference is it's not clear across the country because it's located right in the middle of the country. It's kind of like no matter where you're coming from in the U.S., it's pretty easy to get to. Although I know we've had people from all over the world before attend this conference.
We've had people from Canada and from Europe come. Yes, it's been a wonderful conference. And I want to do a shout out to Oklahoma City because it's probably I think it's such a great city because it's a mid-sized city. So it's not huge. It's still got a small town, a little bit of a small town vibe. It's also a college town. So there's lots of fun eateries and places to go and just different places that you can visit. I really have fun whenever we go to Oklahoma City.
Gina had a lot of fun last time because she rented a Charger. She had a Dodge Charger, and so the level of fun was just increased by the Dodge Charger. It was amped up.
I went on to rent a car, and all of a sudden I realized it was the same amount to rent a regular four-door sedan, Ford Taurus, as it was to rent pretty much a muscle car kind of thing. And so I talked to Chris. I'm like, that sounds like fun. And it was, you could just feel the engine in this thing. It was so much fun.
You could hear her coming from the hotel. We could hear Gina 2 blocks away.
So, Renee, would you just, for anyone who's not familiar with what a writers conference is, because I've run into a lot of writers who, when I say, hey, you should go to writers conference because it'll really help your career, they're like, what is that? Can you give us just a brief overview of just what a conference is in general and why someone would want to attend one?
Sure. I remember when, in my early 20s, I got a postcard for a writer's conference and I was like, what is a writer's conference? But I knew I wanted to be a writer, so it seemed like I should probably go, whatever it was. And I went in very green, not knowing at all what to expect. But it's basically a whole weekend full of all the classes you could ever want on writing. It's like a festival for writers. And there's a whole bunch of classes on different topics. And you look at the schedule and you pick what topics fit what kind of writing you would want to do. So we have fiction, we have nonfiction, we have articles, we even have subgenre types of classes. If you're into science fiction or horror or anything, we try to hit those subgenres as much as possible as well. It's just a lot of fun, and you get to hang out with other writers, network, and you learn just as much at lunch as you do in a class sometimes. Really recommended for writers. And in fact, a lot of people will ask me, should I go get a master's in creative writing or something if I want to do this? I'm like, please don't do that. Please don't go spend $10,000 when you could learn everything you need to know in a weekend at a writer's conference. It really is the way to educate yourself these days in an affordable way.
And it's whether you are a newbie to writing, if you've never written a book, you've just maybe written some short stories or something like that, and you're like, boy, I want to learn how all this stuff works. Or if you are a published author and you have a steady career, it can be beneficial no matter where you are in your journey, can it?
And I would say, even whether you're traditionally or independently published,
Mhm.
we have authors at WriterCon who have done both. They have been freelancers, they've been contract workers, they've been traditionally published with and have agents. And we even have some agents coming to WriterCon to also be independently published. And some of those independent authors are really hustling to market their books. So you can learn a lot of tips and tricks from them about how to be successful in marketing and selling your book as well. So there's just a lot. And in fact, that's one thing that I want to just give a brag on WriterCon a little bit about, is just how warm it is. I think everyone involved in the leadership level of this conference really wants it to be a place that is welcoming for writers, no matter where they are on their journey. And I love that. I love that about WriterCon. You can walk up to any author and ask them questions, talk to them after their sessions. And then we even have roundtables, which I'm sure we'll talk about that as well, but roundtables at the end of the night. And yeah, I love the atmosphere of WriterCon. And I've been to other writers' conferences, and that feeling of kind of being alone in a crowd, it's a horrible feeling. And I think that WriterCon does a lot to alleviate that and to get rid of that.
It's warm inside and outside.
Right.
It
Right.
is. And I will say, it's at the Renaissance Waterford, which is a beautiful location.
So let's look at that, because we have the website. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, we're going to pull the website up right here on our screens. And let's pull Renee in there too. There she is. And we're just going to look a little bit at what they're offering. And 'cause this is, like I said, this is the first look. This will be fun. If you're listening, we'll describe what we see here. So this is at writercon.com. So if you want to follow along on your own, see if there's been any updates since we recorded this, you can. But yeah, it's going to be at the Renaissance Waterford. This is our first year at that
No, it's
hotel,
our
isn't it?
second year.
Is this the second
This
year?
is where we were last year.
Oh,
as
okay,
well.
okay. Yeah, I'm already thinking a couple years in the past, I guess. And it's from
It is.
September 1st through 4th.
It is. And it's a very much, I think it's an easy layout. Everything happens there are some rooms around the corner down one of the hallways, but I think it's an easy one to navigate. And I say that because we had been in years past that I have been at writers' conferences where the location makes a big difference to the feel of the place. I think this one, Renaissance Waterford, just really has a warm feel to it. And it's a beautiful hotel.
So if you go to the website here, you'll see that it's over Labor Day. Normally, it's just a 3-day conference, and then we have a bonus day that's another training day. This year, that bonus day is actually a readers conference. Renee, what's that?
It's the first time we've done it, and the hope is to be able to bring readers in that day to celebrate with authors, get books signed, go to panels and different classes, and interact with some of our writers. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. It's something new that we're doing, and we'll get more information about it as it gets closer. But I think it's a really fun and great idea to, I don't know, showcase our writers and meet our readers.
Yeah. And I think that day is free. I think there are a lot of people to come in for free to get autographs on their books and that sort of thing, and learn a little bit about the industry. Huh?
I think so. I think it's a way, and really that is fun to meet your readers. For an author to meet their readers is really fun, but it's also really fun as a reader to meet the author who's maybe written the series that you love so much. That's really a lot of fun too.
So about halfway down the page here, it has why you should join WriterCon. And I love this. These are like the 4 pillars of WriterCon here, right? The first thing they're saying is because of the conference and workshops. Because the whole conference, you will learn so much. We're going to look at the topics here in just a moment that it looks like might be featured this year. And you'll see that no matter what kind of writing you want to do, no matter how in-depth you want to get, there's probably a session for you. It's got a lot of speakers. There's over 60 authors, agents, publishers, marketing experts, all in this one place. And they're all focused on writing. This isn't just people coming in and trying to pitch you stuff. These are people who are just there to train you. They're selling anything. They're just there to train you. And then we've got the contests, which if you want to enter a contest, you might be able to get your material noticed and become an award-winning author through there. And then, of course, there's the pitch time. Renee, what's the pitch time all about?
Pitching is one of the best parts of a writer's conference, in my opinion. It's not for everybody. If you're beginning, it might seem terrifying and you may not be ready for it, or you might just jump in with both feet. But both of those things are fine. But pitching is where you get a chance to get in front of an editor and an agent, and you have about 10 minutes to pitch your project. And the more you do this, the better you get at it. We actually offer classes on how to do this, to do it well, but it can be a lot of fun. I have seen some folks who are white as a sheet going into this, but this is not life or death. This is pitching in front of an editor and agent, and it does seem terrifying, and I do realize that. But I try to have fun with writers and help them to realize that the person sitting across from them is just a human being. And the worst they can do is tell you your story is terrible. And then you can go cry and eat carbs. That's what I used to do. And then you get over it. But it is part of this industry. This is an industry of total subjectiveness. It's not run on data. It's run on somebody's opinion. So you've got to learn about that. And it is part of learning about the industry. But people have sold books here at our conference. And that's what we want, for people to make great connections with editors and agents and move their professional career forward.
I should add that at the same time that there are workshops on just about every genre and that sort of thing, there's also contests on about every genre and people that you can pitch to from just about every genre. So it's kind of like whatever you've got, whatever you work on, you've probably got a place that you can find to fit.
And I think that's one thing that you've mentioned before we turned on today, was just that this is a conference that is for the inspirational market. We've got people who are speaking from the inspirational market, the Christian inspirational market, as well as the mainstream market. So that's another thing that makes WriterCon a unique one. Sometimes you have conferences that are strictly for inspirational or strictly for mainstream or strictly for one particular genre. And this is a little more generalized.
The thing that I wanted to mention real quick, that not all conferences offer our consultations. These are all part of packages that you can purchase, but consultations are pretty invaluable. They're a chance to meet with a professional writer or editor. It just depends on the year and who's offering them. And you get about 30 minutes to ask any question you want, to have that writer or editor or agent review your work. It's really invaluable. So that's something, if you don't think you're quite ready to pitch, or even if you're pitching, that probably helped me years ago more than anything, is just to get somebody in a corner and ask every question I've ever had. So take a look at that too when you're on the site.
Yes, very good. Let's go ahead and go to the guest page just to see who's speaking. As we said, we know there's over 60 speakers. We have some keynotes here. Gena, why don't you bring us through these keynotes? Who do we have?
We have Lisa Gardner, a New York Times bestselling author, and Susan Meisner, USA Today bestselling novelist, and Tosca Lee, a New York Times bestselling author as well.
Hey, these are big names, aren't they?
They are. And I believe these are all fiction authors. This is going to be a lot of fun to hear them. And I think they've had some interesting journeys along their writing careers that I'm hoping that we get to hear more about as well.
The keynotes are always really good because they're super insightful usually, and you go out, you're just so inspired by what they have to say. Were you going to add something, Rene?
No, I don't think so. I think that having 3 ladies is exciting. So we just want to point that out, and always fun to hear from the women. So 3 strong, really wonderful people who are coming. So I think you'll enjoy them.
List here. I don't want to read through all of them, but as I'm scrolling down, you can see Bob Sines is going to be there, Barry Friedman, Callie Hutton, David Holland, Frank Ball, Chrissy Johnson, Gina Lennis, Harry McLaughlin, John Woolley, Julia Thomas, Kat Lewis, Laura Bernhardt, Laurel Thomas. Did I say Laurel Thomas? Melanie Emery, Rene Gutteridge. We know her too. Rick Ludwig, and I'm skipping a bunch of names too. I can't go through them all, but we'll do our best here. Shel Harrington, R.J. Johnson, Tamara Grantham, Todd Fuller, William Bernhardt, of course, and Will Thomas. Then we've got multiple agents. It looks like there's going to be at least 8 agents. We have regular agents, foreign agents, and a TV agent, which is pretty exciting. And then we've got, let's see, how many publishers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 publishers from Babylon Books, Quill Hawk, Admission Press, Scrivenings, Roadrunner, Paperback Press, Young Dragons, Wild Roads, and others. Then there's some author assistance for things like book writing and apps, like, for instance, Cameron Sutter from Plotter is going to be there, Desiree Duffy, Kevin Tomlinson from Draft to Digital, Chris Jennings, he's an illustrator, he's going to be there. Nikki Hanna, she's a writing coach. So you can find author assistants, you can find publicists, kind of like whatever you're looking for. There's a lot of people here. And then, of course, you've got your hosts. And I think that's it for that page. Wow, that's a lot of people.
I want to go back to yours and just instead of, if you're not familiar with the names, maybe I think it's interesting to show that we've got screenplays, we've got paranormal thrillers, we've got historical fiction, we've got children's inspirational nonfiction. So there's a lot, as we mentioned before, there's a lot of different genres and subgenres that we've got here that are going to be represented here. So that's fun to learn from, especially if you're somebody who is, you've got a specific genre. Sometimes a genre, there's different things that you need to tackle when you're within that genre. So I think it's really good to hear from those people who are working in that field.
For sure. Now, I want to also jump to the, let's see, where is it at? The schedule here. Now, we know that this schedule is not finalized, but still tentative. But just to give you an idea of the kinds of trainings that will be at this conference, we thought we'd just read from a few of these, yeah? So, for instance, we have how to plot your novel from start to finish. That seems like a pretty, that seems like that would be a long session. But I think that's just a 1 hour session, because that's what's cool that they do at this conference is that for every time period, which is about an hour long, there's 4 sessions happening at once. So even though you may say, oh, I'm not interested in writing fiction, I want to do nonfiction, you can just find the person who's teaching nonfiction during that. So for instance, during this time here at 9:30 on Monday, we've got how to plot your novel from start to finish. There's an inspirational market talk, as well as getting the most out of WriterCon. So there's a little bit of everything at that time.
And we'll also be recording these this year. So if you miss one and you want to make sure and go back and get it, you'll be able to.
Yes, good point. Here's writing productivity hacks, tips, and secrets that work. How to defend your prose in fight scenes and how to write them. That's fun. Writing book descriptions, writing proposals, blending nonfiction and fictional approaches. That sounds interesting. Let's see, we've got ABCs of publishing. That'd be, I think, the different kinds of publishing that there are. Then we have an opportunity where you can get a reservation and have lunch with agents. That's pretty cool. Here's a panel where it looks like you're moderating this, Rene, where they're going to have people who submit the first pages of their novels and then have it read by agents and editors and get their feedback. That's always a little scary, but also very insightful. Here's one on mysteries, another one on pitching, more nonfiction, some about characters, how to distribute your books through a place like Draft to Digital. We've got some more marketing sessions, a lot of marketing sessions. That's great. And then we have the keynotes. That's just day one, y'all. And then there's roundtables where you can get together based on a genre like thrillers, mysteries, women's fiction, science fiction, screenplays, nonfiction, children's, or inspirational. You can get at a table, talk about those things with other people, and it's just really like a great place to have one-on-one talk.
And you, last year, I remember you went to you went to both nights of the roundtables. And I think you came away feeling like that was the best.
It was one of the best things we did.
One of the best things you did. What about it was so empowering to you?
There's something about being in a small group like that, because at each one of these tables only fit about 10 to 12 people at most. And so it was a small group, and you could all get together and just talk about that one thing. And usually the people who were moderating had a few kickoff questions to talk about and just help each other. And it was really great because as people jumped in, everyone felt like they learned something. Everyone had something to contribute. And it was just right on target with whatever question you might come to the Writers Conference with. You can get help in a session like that.
I think that was the thing that I noticed you came away with, is you felt like everyone had a part to play, that it was this even playing field where everyone who was there had something that they were contributing, no matter where they were on their journey, that they had either questions that they brought to the table or questions that they could answer. So it seemed like you came away feeling like it was really collaborative.
Yeah, it was good. Really good. Really good. What are you looking forward to the most, Renee?
Oh, goodness. I love writers' conferences. I've built my career off of writers' conferences, and I'm so thrilled to be a part of bringing a writers' conference to folks. To me, I love the classes. I still attend them and always learn something new. I love getting to know the writers that come and seeing the writers that we know, because we have writers return year after year, and they return because they're getting something of value, right? They're getting wonderful education on writing. They're getting to see their friends again, and they're networking. They're meeting new editors. They're meeting new agents. You really can't go wrong going to a writers conference. I've attended large conferences. I've attended small conferences my whole career, and I get something out of all of them. And so WriterCon really is cream of the crop. Writers conference, I think we try to offer the best that we can, and I think we achieve that. For me, I just look forward to getting to hear what everybody else gets from it and learning a few new things myself when I'm not running like a crazy person back and forth trying to put some fire out. But we don't have very many fires. We're pretty on top of things.
I'll tell you what, if you want to learn more about WriterCon and everything that's going on there, we just barely touched on the schedule and everything going on. I encourage you to go to writercon.com. That's writercon.com. And you can read all about where it's at. You can look at the entire schedule. You can see photos from last year. You can find out about the contests and more about the venue, as well as some other things we've got going on. Now, if you click on the register now, you're able to actually go ahead and get tickets today for WriterCon. They are available, and we have a special treat for you. If you use coupon We Are Writers, WAEAREWRITERS, We Are Writers. If you type that into the coupon field, you'll get $50 off this conference immediately, which is pretty cool. And then we also get to see you there. And so if you decide to come because you've heard this on the podcast, please let us know. We are going to have more podcasts, I'm sure, on writers conferences and on WriterCon coming forward, because we just love talking about this thing every year. But be sure to check that out. Go to writercon.com, use the coupon code We Are Writers, get $50 off, and then let us know if you're going to be there. We'd love to hear it. All right. Until next time. Woo, I feel like we put in a full podcast there looking at all that. That's good stuff. We appreciate y'all joining us. Renee, thank you so much for joining us here today, too. And we are not in this alone, because together, what, Gina?
We have writing momentum.
Bye-bye.